7 Wonders You Can Visit, written by David Dreyer. Seven Wonders of the Ancient World. 1. The Great Pyramids of Giza, Egypt, 2500 BC. 2. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, Iraq, 580 BC. 3. The Temple of the Greek goddess Artemis at Ephesus in what is now Turkey, 550 BC. 4. The statue of the Greek god Zeus at Olympia, Greece, 432 BC. 5. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus, an elaborate tomb in what is now Turkey, 354 BC. 6. The Colossus of Rhodes, a huge statue of the sun god Helios on the Greek island of Rhodes, 290 BC. 7. The Lighthouse of Alexandria, Egypt, 300 BC. Introduction. Writers in ancient Greece loved to describe their world. They especially enjoyed making lists of the great wonders they saw or heard about. As more people traveled, the list kept changing, but eventually a final list of significant sites emerged. The sites became known as the 7 Great Wonders of the world. These remarkable structures were built from about 2500 BC to 290 BC. Today, we would call these unusual places must-sees. Of the original 7 wonders, only the Great Pyramids of Giza in Egypt still stand today. However, modern archaeologists continue to excavate and restore the site of the city of Babylon and may someday verify the location of the ancient Hanging Gardens. New wonders to explore. Following the idea of those ancient list makers, this book will take a look at the 7 new wonders of the world. These new wonders were built in more recent times, and all of them can be visited today. The New Wonders list was created from votes cast by more than 100 million people. You may think of other sites you would add to the list, but these 7 received the most votes. The Pyramid at Chichen Itza. Chichen Itza was once a great religious center in Mexico. It was founded by a group of Maya called the Itza in about AD 600. The Itza lived there until about 1200. The name Chichen Itza means mouth of the well of the Itza. Chichen Itza was about 4 square miles in size and had several temples, an observatory, a large public market, a sacred ball court, and large areas for public events and worship. The most famous structure at the site is a large pyramid, which the Spanish invaders named El Castillo, the castle. The 4-sided pyramid is about 24 meters, 79 feet high, and 58 meters, 190 feet wide at its base. It was built on top of a smaller, older temple that contained a statue of the god Chacmul and a red jaguar figure decorated with jade. Archaeologists say the Maya designed the pyramid as a type of calendar. The pyramid has a total of 365 steps, one for each day of the year. Christ the Redeemer statue. High on a mountain above Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, stands a tall, robed figure with its arms outstretched, the statue of Christ the Redeemer. Finished in 1931, it is the largest Art Deco-style statue in the world. It is the newest of the 7 new wonders of the world. The statue stands atop the 710-meter, 2,330-foot-tall Corcovado mountain overlooking the city of Rio de Janeiro. It can be seen from almost anywhere in the city. The statue, including its base, towers 38 meters, 125 feet above the mountaintop. Over time, wind and rain damaged its surface. In 2010, a $4 million project returned the statue to perfect condition. Visitors can ride to the top of Corcovado Mountain in a small electric train. The train was originally built to carry the building supplies for the statue. From the mountaintop, there is a sweeping 360-degree view of Rio de Janeiro, the mountains and forest, the city's famous beaches, and the bay. The Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal in Agra, India, ranks among the world's most beautiful and famous buildings. It's often called a monument to love. The gleaming white Taj Mahal is in fact a mausoleum for tombs. It was built in the 1600s by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. The Mughals, or Mughals, were Muslim invaders who ruled most of India in the 1500s and 1600s. Shah Jahan ordered the design of the Taj Mahal in 1631 to hold the tomb of a beloved wife. She had died that year in childbirth. It took until 1648 to finish the building. Her name, Mumtaz Mahal, means chosen one of the palace, and Taj Mahal means crown palace. The Taj Mahal is made of white marble that glows pale pink in the sunset. The building's design combines Persian, Central Asian, and Islamic styles. The Taj Mahal is topped by a large dome and has 4 slender towers called minarets. It sits within a vast garden and has a long, narrow pool that leads to the entrance. Everything fits together in perfect harmony, and the beauty of the total effect always amazes visitors. The Roman Colosseum. The Colosseum in Rome, Italy, is one of the most famous landmarks of the ancient world. It was built almost 2,000 years ago at the height of the Roman Empire's power. At least 50,000 people could be seated inside the arena to watch athletic events, circus acts, races, and many bloody contests. The Colosseum is best known for fights to the death between trained fighters called gladiators. Gladiators also fought wild animals, such as tigers, bears, and elephants, and the animals also fought each other. Below the wooden Colosseum floor were rooms where gladiators could wait for their turn to fight. Rows of cages kept the animals apart. Hand-turned elevators and ramps raised and lowered gladiators and animals to or from the arena. After the Romans lost power in the late AD 400s, the Colosseum slowly fell apart. Its outer walls were damaged by a strong earthquake, and people took away many of its stones. A major project was begun in 2011 to rebuild and save its walls. The Colosseum is often the first landmark visitors want to see in Rome, and it's visited by almost 4 million people each year. The Great Wall of China. For much of its early history, China suffered attacks by invaders from the north. To protect against those attacks, Chinese rulers built a series of walls along the nation's northern border. The earliest walls were built from the 700s to the 300s BC. In the 200s BC, the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huangdi, joined many of the separate walls into one. It became known as the Great Wall of China. The original wall had been made of packed earth and rocks. The later Ming emperors changed it into a sturdy stone barrier. They also added many guard towers so that soldiers could see for long distances. The new wall stretched for about 8,850 kilometers, 5,500 miles. A longer, stronger wall didn't save the Ming from all attacks. In 1644, the dynasty fell to northern invaders called the Manchu. After the Manchu Wars, weaker sections of the wall began to fall apart. Local farmers took away some of the stones to build their homes. In recent years, several sections of the wall have been rebuilt so that visitors can see how it once looked. Machu Picchu. The Native American Incas created the greatest empire that ever existed in the Americas. When the Spanish invaders arrived in Peru in the 1500s, they destroyed many of the Inca cities. But they didn't find the remote mountaintop site of Machu Picchu. It remained untouched high in the Andes Mountains for centuries after the Inca had left it. Machu Picchu almost disappeared under jungle growth, but local farmers knew it was there. In 1911, they showed the site to an explorer named Hiram Bingham. Bingham uncovered buildings, mapped the site, took photographs, and wrote about what he had seen. Machu Picchu's temples, storage structures, observatory, and houses were built of finely cut stones, fitted closely together without mortar. The steep hillsides below the city had long terraces for farming. About 1,000 people lived there, but archaeologists aren't sure of Machu Picchu's purpose. The city may have been used for worship and ritual, or as a winter palace for Inca rulers. Today, Machu Picchu is among the 100 most endangered sites in the world. To protect the site, no more than 2,500 visitors are allowed per day. Petra. Imagine a city carved from solid rock. Petra, an ancient city in the Middle Eastern nation of Jordan, was carved out of pink and gray sandstone cliffs about 2,000 years ago. The word Petra means rock. An ancient Arab tribe shaped solid cliffs and narrow canyons into over 500 temples, houses, stores, a theater, and tombs. Ancient Petra stood at a place where two main trade routes met. Tired traders and their camel caravans would stop at the city to rest and get food and water. Over many years, trade routes moved to other areas. The rock city hidden in the canyons was forgotten. It was finally rediscovered by a Swiss explorer, Johann Burckhardt, in 1812. To enter Petra, visitors must walk, ride a horse, or ride in a horse-drawn cart through a long, narrow canyon entrance called the Seek. At the end of the Seek entrance stands the most famous building in Petra, the Treasury. It is just the first of many fantastic sights of Petra, a city carved from stone. Conclusion. The 7 new wonders of the world are amazing structures, but our modern world is a much bigger place than the world of the ancient Greeks. It is difficult to limit a list of today's wonders to just 7. On the next 3 pages are examples of other famous or unusual buildings, structures, and statues that exist today. Which would you vote to include on a list of new wonders of the world?